In the quiet village of Mistral Hollow, where stars looked closer than streetlights, lived a girl named Elena. She wasn't the kind of girl who raised her hand in class or shouted across the playground. Elena watched more than she spoke. While other children clamored for attention, competing to answer the teacher's questions first or racing to the swings at recess, Elena watched. She listened more than she was heard. Most children played in groups. Elena found comfort sitting under the old willow tree at recess, sketching birds and writing secret poems in a notebook she never showed anyone. But at night, she came alive. She would tiptoe out to the lake, barefoot, hugging her journal, and sit by the water's edge under a silver moon. That was the only place she truly spoke, whispering her dreams into the wind, pretending the moon was listening. "Moonlight doesn't laugh when your voice shakes," she once said aloud. "It just stays and listens." But in school, her words curled up inside her like frightened kittens. One day, a new girl arrived, Mira. Unlike Elena, Mira was loud, expressive, and funny, but she had no friends yet. During lunch, she noticed Elena's drawing of a bird in flight. "That's amazing," Mira said, leaning over. Elena jumped slightly, unused to compliments. "Thanks," she mumbled, eyes down. Mira smiled. "Do you write too?" Elena nodded. "Can I read one?" Mira asked gently. Elena hesitated. Her mind flooded with 1,000 excuses. "It's not good enough. It's too personal. She'll probably laugh." For a long moment, she said nothing, trapped between the comfort of staying invisible and the terrifying leap of being seen. Then, almost without realizing it, Elena's hand moved. Slowly, she flipped through the pages, her thumb trembling against the worn paper. She found a poem. Not the best one, not even the one she liked most, but the one that felt the bravest to let go of. With a breath so small it was almost a prayer, she tore the page out, the soft shrimp echoing loud in the quiet air, and held it out. Mira read in silence, her eyes scanning the words carefully, her expression changing. First thoughtful, then tender, and finally, something that looked suspiciously like awe. When she finished, Mira looked up. No jokes, just a simple, powerful truth shining in her gaze. "You've got to share this," Mira said, her voice steady. "People need to feel this." Elena blinked, stunned. For a second, she thought maybe she'd misheard. No one had ever said that to her before. "I can't," Elena said. "I don't sound right when I speak." Mira looked at her seriously. "You don't have to sound perfect. You just have to sound real. That's what moves people." Elena was quiet, but something shifted. For the next few weeks, the two met by the lake, always at the same worn wooden bench that overlooked the water's glittering surface. Elena would bring her battered notebook, clutched tight against her chest like a secret she was still learning to trust the world with. Sitting side by side, she would flip to a poem, clear her throat nervously, and begin to read aloud while Mira listened. Every time, her voice grew a little stronger. The words found their rhythm. She started to look up from the page once in a while, to meet Mira's eyes, to believe, even if just for a breath, that her words deserved to be heard. Finally, the school announced a poetry day. Students were encouraged to read something original. Elena nearly said no, but that night, the moon seemed brighter, as if whispering, "They need to hear you." So she signed up. The morning of the event, she felt like her lungs were made of butterflies. Her legs trembled as she stepped onto the stage. But then, she saw Mira in the front row giving her a thumbs up. Elena closed her eyes, took a breath, and began. Her voice cracked on the first line. She paused. The audience waited. Then she smiled, and started again. By the end, the auditorium was so quiet you could hear hearts beating. When she finished, applause erupted. Not because it was flawless, but because it was honest, raw, beautiful. After that day, Elena still visited the lake. But now, she has a new tradition. Every Friday afternoon, when most students rushed out the front doors laughing and shouting, Elena lingered in the emptying hall. She would gather her notebooks, sling her worn backpack over one shoulder, and make her way to the small classroom with the hand-painted sign that read, "Writer's Corner." She stayed after school to help other quiet kids write their first poems. Just because someone is quiet doesn't mean they lack value. Often the deepest talents and kindnesses are hidden behind the softest voices. Shyness can teach that real bravery isn't about being loud. It's about choosing to express yourself even when your heart is pounding.